One day humanity was driven off the land by the threat of magical armored beetles and now live in aerial floating cities. Its defenses lie in wizards who fight the insects with magic in midair. In the beginning of the episode, the fire team S-128 consisting of Kanata Age, Chloe Sevigny, Yuri Floster, and Lloyd Alwyn are fighting the beetles' Arcaners. Kanata decides to lure the beetles away and fights them alone. Fast forward 6 months, the leader of Sky Wizards, Freon Flammel, asks Chloe to assign an instructor to the fire team E601 consisting of Mizora Whitall, Lekti Eisenach, and Rico Flammel because of their consecutive losses and bad performance. Chloe chooses Kanata to be their instructor. Kanata, now known as a traitor, works in the logistics department. He is told by Lloyd that the Sky Wizards leader wants to see him. On his way to the academy, he unknowingly meets all the members of the E601 team, and because of how they meet, he is dubbed a pervert by the three of them. Freon officially appoints Kanata, and the journey of Kanata, the traitor and pervert, as E601's instructor begins. Mizora is reluctant in accepting Kanata as their instructor, but he says that if they have a problem, they can take it up with the Sky Wizards department. He says that he, who is also known as Kronos, can make them stronger, even more than himself, and they would be able to defeat the strongest teams. Rico disagrees and says that as a goddess she doesn't need to train, but Kanata says he hasn't seen her skill, and according to Sky Wizards data, her ability is lower than Mizora. She reluctantly agrees, but warns him not to fall in love with her after seeing her performance. Meanwhile, Yuri asks Chloe if Kanata is still treated as on sick leave. Chloe says that it's the 6th time she asked her that in the past week. She says that Kanata is still not ready to go out on missions and is now the instructor of an E-ranked fire team as per her request. Yuri gets angry about how he gets away with not assisting his own fire team, working in logistics and now as an instructor. Chloe tells her not to speak badly about Kanata and says that he also wants to defend the peace of the city. Up in the sky, Kanata takes the E601 on a trial run and finds that they have zero teamwork. He also finds that Mizora, while brash, has decent in stamina. Lekti has powerful moves but gets nervous while facing an enemy and becomes inconsistent. He was impressed with Rico's strategy of combining Lekti's hand-to-hand combat with her sniping skills, but says that her intentions moves were telegraphed. Later, in the locker room, while the three were changing and Mizora was upset about her small chest size, Kanata, with his bad or amazing timing, arrives to inform them about their training and gets labeled as a pervert once more. Kanata begins the training of E601, but Rico refuses to participate and leaves. After she leaves, he begins the training of the other two. For Lekti's training, he has her dress up as a maid and hand out flyers for a cafe called Garden Terrace, and for Misora's, he tells her to follow and spy on Rico to find if Rico had any weakness. Mizora tries to follow Rico discreetly but is soon found out by her. To continue her training, she asks Rico if she could go shopping with her but is unable to find any weakness except for her love of cute things. Lekti, although she was initially nervous, is eventually able to hand out the flyers. But Kanata, who had come to the cafe for a coffee, tells her that for her next training she will be working as a waitress for the cafe, which makes Lekti very nervous. Meanwhile, on her way from the school cafeteria, Yuri collides with Real Nua, a researcher from the alchemist department, and spills her drink on him. It is love at first sight for Real. Yuri apologizes and starts wiping down his trousers with her handkerchief, but Chloe calls her, and she leaves in a hurry, leaving her handkerchief with Real. Back at the cafe, Lekti is unable to attend the customers because of her nervousness and social anxiousness and runs away. Mizora finds her and decides to help her, but since Kanata had bought only 2 dresses, Mizora ends up dressing as a bunny girl. A still nervous Lekti is called by Lloyd, who had seen her run away from people. He asks her if it was difficult for her to speak with people. He says that her difficulty, in a sense, is her weakness. He tells her to trust her instructor and gain inspiration from Mizora. Seeing Mizora working hard, Lekti gains confidence and turns to thank Lloyd, but finds that he had already left. Following Misora's example, she was able to attend and serve the customers. Freon, on seeing the 2 E601 members working, gets curious as to what the traitor was planning. Later, Mizora complains to Kanata about their training, but Lekti asks if he knew about her social anxiety and nervousness. He replies that with her being a Eisenach and her powerful skills, it should have been a pretty good fight when they fought previously during their trial run, but she wasn't able to show her true skills because of her anxiousness. Lekti says that she hates herself for being anxious and nervous while facing people, but Kanata tells her not to worry about it and says that nobody in the world is completely satisfied with themselves, and since she now knows her problem, she can also find its solution. Kanata then asks Mizora if she had succeeded in her training, but she admits she failed. He then buys ice cream for both of them as reward. Mizora then asks why is he rewarding her when she not only failed her training but also failed as a team leader in not knowing about Lecty's problem. Kanata replies that she learned that she had much to learn, which was progress. He then tells Lecty to continue her training and tells Mizora that she didn't need to follow Riko anymore since her exercise was to clarify her weakness. Overcoming it would be another training entirely. Later at night, Chloe sneaks into Kanata's room. Kanata says she can't because it was the men's dorm. She says it's fine and just like old times. She sees him looking at Mizora's data at the computer and asks what has he planned for her. The next day, Kanata tells Mizora to switch from Vanguard Magic Cannon Sword to Middle Guard Magic Cannon because of her zero talent in sword fighting but high magical reserves and stamina. She gets upset and refuses and says that she won't accept this even if it could make her stronger. She says she was a fool to think that he would be a decent instructor and leaves the room. With a flashback in another floating city, where Sosi Watal, a formidable woman with red hair, skillfully combats beetles, showcasing her prowess as a sky wizard. In the present, her daughter Mizora stands by Sosi's grave at the Hills of Hope, resentful of Kanata's decision to switch her from Vanguard Magic Sword Cannon to Middle Guard Magic Cannon. Lecty, diligently working as a maid to enhance her skills, receives praise from Lloyd at the Sky Wizard's leader office. Inside, Freon inquires about Lecty's training method, prompting Chloe to suggest asking Kanata directly. Lecty, on her way back, seeks Riko's training assistance, but Riko declines, deeming sweaty training unsuitable for a goddess. Lecty, determined, expresses her trust in Kanata, leaving Riko intrigued about his true nature. Meanwhile, Rio, infatuated with Yuri, plans to return her handkerchief along with a love letter, but is dismayed when he witnesses Kanata and Yuri's conversation. Rio's admiration turns to resentment as he perceives Kanata as a potential threat to his affections for Yuri. Kanata visits the Watal family's restaurant, Little Wing, leading to a tense encounter with Mizora. Gale, Mizora's father, serves Kanata a steak, reminiscing about Sosi's love for the dish. Kanata learns about Gale being a natural and Sosi's sacrifice as a sky wizard. Gale discloses that Mizora's fixation on the magic cannon sword stems from a desire not to forget her mother. A flashback unveils Sosi's role as a sky wizard, juxtaposed with her clumsiness in domestic tasks. After her death, Mizora, struggling with the loss, decides to follow in her mother's footsteps. In the present, Kanata reveals Sosi's past to Mizora, who resents her father's disclosure. The revelation prompts Kanata to urge Mizora to abandon the magic cannon sword. Mizora, steadfast, views the sword as a symbol of her mother's will and memories. Kanata and Mizora visit the Hills of Hope, where Kanata challenges Mizora to abandon the sword and vow on her mother's grave. Mizora refuses, asserting that the sword represents her mother's legacy. Kanata questions Sosi's true goal, protecting everyone or just the sword, reflecting on his conversation with Gale. Mizora, now outside her home, grapples with her inability to grow stronger. Kanata finds her, and they head to the Hills of Hope. Despite Mizora's anger at her father's revelation, Kanata reassures her that Gale shared the information out of concern. Kanata encourages Mizora to abandon the sword, testing her resolve. Mizora, adamant, refuses, prompting Kanata to laugh and admire her determination. He offers a hint on improving her sword skills, leaving Mizora bewildered. The following day, Lecty joyfully discovers Mizora participating in wizard training. Grateful to Kanata, Mizora thanks him before flying off, determined to excel. Riko, observing from a balcony, acknowledges Kanata's intriguing nature. Riko's dream, depicting her futile pursuit of her accomplished older sister, Freon, in the past. However, the dream is abruptly interrupted by Freon scolding Riko for her late morning awakening. Riko, undeterred, asserts her goddess-like independence, dismissing school rules. While bathing, she is startled by a reflection in the shower, only to discover her own otherworldly beauty. At a cafe, Lloyd expresses admiration for Kanata, who is conversing with him. Yuri interjects, insinuating Kanata's unpopularity in Miss Gun City. Undeterred, Kanata and Lloyd focus on discussing the upcoming battle with Fireteam E571. Yuri, frustrated, leaves, and Lloyd follows to console her. Riko arrives at the cafe, and Kanata, curious about her late arrival, teases her about seeing a ghost in the shower. Riko, recounting her childhood struggles, notices data on E571 and inquires. Kanata mentions potential with Lecty and Mizora, and Riko, uninterested in training, leaves. In a changing room, Mizora and Lecty discuss improved skills and winning chances. Kanata offers ice cream, but they decline, revealing their intent to talk to Riko. They plead with Riko to join training, but she resists. Mizora kneels to beg, but Kanata intervenes, lifting her off the ground. In the Sky Wizard's leader's office, Freon informs Chloe of a defeated fire team and suspects a chimera. Chloe assigns the special duty team Nirvana to handle it. Freon inquires about E601, and Chloe acknowledges her curiosity. Back at E601, Kanata comments on Misora's intentions, emphasizing the importance of victory. Riko, waking from the same childhood dream, encounters Real spying on Yuri. Real suspects Kanata tricked Yuri, prompting Riko to inquire if he's a stalker. Kanata teaches Mizora the Strike Blaster move, a one-hit-kill technique utilizing concentrated magic. Mizora questions Kanata's exhaustion, and he attributes it to their limited time. Riko observes and questions their dynamic. Kanata reassures Lecty about her special abilities and pats her head. Riko contemplates Kanata's interactions with the girls. Riko wonders about her potential improvement through training and witnesses Kanata's disappearance. Kanata surprises her, noticing pink glasses, and questions if they enhance her clairvoyance. Riko, shocked he knows about her ability, discusses its benefits. Kanata acknowledges her skills and expresses the need for her in their strategy, causing Riko to blush. The next day, Riko joins Mizora and Lecty for training, surprising them. Kanata is pleased to see the three keys together. The episode concludes with the ranking match between E601 and E571, but an alert interrupts the match as armored beetles approach Miss Gunn. In the midst of the chaos caused by the armored beetles, Miss Gunn stands on the brink of destruction. Freon, in the command room, strategically assigns fire teams to battle and evacuation duties. E601, including Kanata, is tasked with evacuation, leaving Riko puzzled about the former ace's role. Lecty enters with a distressed little girl separated from her mother. Outside Miss Gunn, S128 fights the Arcaners. Chloe's impressive skill catches Yuri's attention, and she suggests using her spear. Lloyd reports a breach in the city walls, prompting Freon to contact the head supervisor, who urges any necessary measures to protect Miss Gunn. Mizora, moved by the little girl's fear, recalls her mother, Sosi, and the desire to protect. She unleashes a powerful attack, inadvertently destroying her own home. Kanata scolds her, and E601 takes the girl to safety. Freon realizes defeating the chimeras is crucial, locating Deneb as a target. E571 defeats Deneb, but another chimera emerges. Riko reluctantly uses her clairvoyance, revealing a massive Arcaner influx. Outside, Yuri contemplates retreat, but Chloe and Lloyd insist on drawing the beetles away. Back in Miss Gunn, Freon directs fire teams to engage the new chimera. E601 is rallied by Kanata to join the battle. Mizora, Lecty, and Riko step up, displaying teamwork and defeating the Arcaners. As the E601 gains confidence, communication with the command room is cut off. Despite the odds, they triumph. However, a revived chimera appears, unleashing devastating attacks. Lecty and Riko are trapped, and Mizora, aware of Kanata's limitations, advises against his involvement. Kanata, revealing his magical prowess, defeats the chimera, leaving Mizora in awe. The battle concludes, with Lecty and Riko surviving. Kanata, drained of energy, falls from the sky. The 601 rushes to him, fearing the worst. Miraculously, Kanata rises, proclaiming their readiness for ranking matches. In the aftermath, the 601 faces E571 in the ranking match. Kanata arrives with his arm in a sling, encountering Yuri. She questions his injury, suspecting his involvement in the battle. Kanata evades, claiming a simple accident. The match begins, but to Kanata's surprise, E601 loses, facing mockery from E571. Yuri taunts Kanata about his earlier confidence. Freon and Chloe propose an accelerated Sky Wizard training program to Christina Balcahorn, seeking approval. The Miss Gunn Academy tournament looms, setting the stage for new challenges and revelations. In the aftermath of their defeat by the E571, the 601 team resumes training in the skies, determined to improve. Unaware of the impending meeting in Freon's office that will shape their future, tensions rise as Freon questions the S128 members about defeating the new chimera. Kanata's plea to spare his team in exchange for the destruction caused during the battle becomes the focal point of the discussion. Freon, unconvinced due to the lack of evidence, decides to disband E601 and relieve Kanata of his duties. Chloe is tasked with bringing Kanata to Freon's office. The girls in the E601 room, frustrated by the lack of recognition for their efforts, lament the situation. Kanata, however, remains satisfied with the outcome and reveals the Miss Gun tournament, a glimmer of hope for the disheartened team. The Miss Gun tournament promises rewards that fuel the E601's dreams, providing motivation for their participation. However, Kanata's meeting with Freon takes an unexpected turn, leading to a high-stakes bet. Freon challenges Kanata to prove E601's worth through the tournament, offering to reconsider disbandment if they emerge victorious. The girls, eavesdropping on the conversation, catch snippets of the intense discussion. Kanata's determination to prove E601's potential resonates with the team, setting the stage for their journey in the Miss Gun tournament. Later, in the E601 room, Kanata shares the outcome of his meeting with Freon. The atmosphere is somber, but Kanata reassures them that winning the tournament is the key to overturning their current predicament. With 0 wins and 11 losses, the girls are skeptical, but Kanata emphasizes the tournament's clean slate, providing a fresh start. As Kanata departs, he encourages the team to focus on upcoming training in the tournament's match selection round. Meanwhile, Freon takes the S-128 members to witness experiments on armored beetles in the Alchemist division, explaining the necessity of the tournament for team improvement. Yuri, feeling uneasy, is approached by Rio, a researcher in the division, leading to an unexpected revelation about Yuri's preferences. The next day, the 601 team attends the tournament's selection round, where teams are grouped through the bingo number change game. Placed in the 4th Group D, E601's opponent is none other than the E571. Yuri, present as the instructor for A227, makes a bet with Kanata, convinced of E601's slim chances of success. The stage is set for the Miss Gun tournament as the E601 team faces challenges both on and off the battleground. Kanata's unwavering belief in his team's potential and the high-stakes bet with Freon add a layer of suspense to their journey. As they prepare for the upcoming battles, the 601 team must overcome not only their opponents but also the doubts that linger within their own ranks. Dimly lit alley at night, where a male sky wizard, fearing for his life, is pursued by a hooded assailant. Cornered at a dead end, the sky wizard faces his attacker, who swiftly incapacitates him before departing. In a subsequent flashback, Yuri's entry into Kanata's team is unveiled. 3 years earlier, a younger Yuri watches a match between D128, a D-ranked fire team led by Kanata, Chloe, and Lloyd, against a 663, an A-ranked fire team. Initially skeptical of the D team's chances, Yuri witnesses their impressive victory, with Kanata saving her from a magical arrow. Impressed, Yuri eventually joins the team. In the present, the S-128 members discuss recent attacks by an unknown assailant. Chloe seeks Yuri's opinion, but Yuri is lost in thoughts about her past. Chloe's insistence brings Yuri back to the present, and she assures the team's commitment to patrolling with the Raven's Nest. Kanata, overhearing their conversation, casually appears and remarks on the Raven's Nest joining. Yuri blushes briefly but regains composure, questioning Kanata's eavesdropping. Kanata compliments Yuri's current demeanor, leaving her puzzled. The team reflects on Yuri's commitment to instructing an E-ranker like Kanata. Later, in the skies, Kanata introduces a unique training approach to the E601, shuffling their roles as Vanguard, Middle Guard, and Rear Guard. Riko, Mizora, and Lekti reluctantly agree. Riko devises a plan during their training, impressing Kanata with strategic thinking. Yuri's team, the formidable A227, interrupts their training, showcasing their exceptional teamwork and power. Yuri challenges Kanata, who emphasizes the E601's need for unity to face superior opponents. Back at the E601's room, Kanata rewards Riko for achieving training goals, acknowledging her considerate nature. Leaving the academy, Kanata meets Yuri for an instructor-to-instructor talk. The E601, spying from a distance, attempts to eavesdrop on their conversation. Kanata and Yuri discuss various matters at a cafe, unaware of the E601's futile attempts to hear them. Mizora mistakenly believes they are on a date, causing comedic confusion among the E601 members. During their conversation, Kanata questions Yuri about her public admission of liking only those stronger than her. Yuri confirms it, leading Kanata to express concern about her public disclosure. Kanata surprises Yuri by revealing that he knows Chloe is the person she likes. Yuri gets upset and urges Kanata to quit being the E601's instructor, citing the team's perceived failure. Kanata defends the E601's potential and recalls Chloe's initial struggles. Yuri leaves in anger, and Kanata, aware of the E601 spying, offers to pay for their table. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Chloe uncover a pattern in the attacks, realizing that the assailant targets male melee wizards of increasing ranks. Real Nua is revealed as the hooded attacker, driven by a misguided desire to become worthy of Yuri's love. In the aftermath of Misora's house explosion, she finds refuge in Lecty's room. During a break from their role swap training, Lecty questions Kanata about its effectiveness. Kanata, while praising her observation skills, insists on continuing the training. He hints at a new challenge involving Lecty as a maid in a busy cafe during lunch. Overwhelmed at first, Lecty learns to navigate the chaos by paying attention to her surroundings. Observing from outside, Kanata reflects on the importance of teamwork. Later, during Sky training, Mizora and Riko struggle in their roles. Lecty, now in the rearguard position, realizes the challenges and suggests a more strategic approach, boosting the team's morale. The next day, Kanata encounters Chloe, noticing her exhaustion from night patrols. Mizora urges Kanata for more intense training, fearing falling behind Lecty and Riko. Kanata agrees, moving E601 into shared dorms for increased bonding. In the evening, Kanata surprises Yuri with her favorite cream puff, initiating a conversation about their chances in the tournament. Yuri reluctantly accepts the cream puff, and Kanata questions her decision to abandon her original weapon. Kanata reminisces about their past training, emphasizing the importance of resilience. Their conversation is interrupted when Real, a mysterious figure, appears and attacks Yuri. Kanata intervenes, showcasing his legendary skills. Real retreats, leaving Yuri battered but alive. Kanata carries the unconscious Yuri to the new E601 living quarters. The team misinterprets her injuries, assuming it's Kanata's doing. In Real's room, an eerie eye suggests using its power for revenge. The narrative unfolds, showcasing the intricate dynamics within E601, the challenges they face, E601 questioning Kanata about bringing an unconscious Yuri to their new room. Riko speculates that he aimed to eliminate a strong rival, but Kanata clarifies that he couldn't take Yuri to his room. Yuri wakes up, and Mizora tries to shield Kanata from her view, only to realize she's naked. In embarrassment, Yuri covers herself with a bedsheet and pulls out a gun, pointing it at Kanata. Riko explains it's for self-defense, causing a small argument. Kanata, seizing the gun, reveals the girl's undressed Yuri for her comfort. Yuri, though calmed, asks if Kanata saw her naked, confirmed by his nervous laughter. Yuri cries, and Kanata, claiming he forgot something, leaves abruptly. The E601 thanks Yuri for saving Kanata from the slasher, a tale Kanata fabricated. Lecty offers Yuri some clothes, leading to Yuri apologizing and questioning if they all live together. Riko states it's per their instructor's command, sparking banter. Yuri laughs, reminiscing about Kanata's impossible tasks. Riko hints at a relationship between Yuri and Kanata, creating tension. Yuri denies it, and Kanata returns, introducing himself. He gives Yuri a good luck charm, expressing care. Misora's anxiety rises. Yuri, blushing, denies any romantic involvement. After Kanata leaves, the 601 worries about Yuri's ominous words. Mizora vows to protect the team, Riko mentions hunger, and Lecty offers to cook. Mizora questions their commitment to the tournament, leading to a unique culinary experiment with Riko's unconventional addition, building trust among the trio. During training, Lecty and Riko excel, but Mizora struggles. Riko proposes a strategic improvement, baffling Mizora. The tournament's opening ceremony unfolds, and Kanata advises E601 to rest. Lecty and Riko emulate Kanata, irritating Mizora, who reminds them of the high stakes. That night, Mizora struggles to grasp Riko's strategy, leading to an impromptu bath. They discover a broken energy generator but manage a temporary fix. As they bathe, the trio reflects on their time together, creating a moment of camaraderie. Mizora, however, feels inadequate and lashes out, leaving the bath in tears. The next day, Mizora, Kanata, and the 601 prepare for their match. Kanata questions Mizora about her experience living with Riko and Lecty, but Mizora sees it as a reminder of her shortcomings. Kanata hints at hidden perspectives, disrupted by the match announcement. Mizora faces E571 alone, but the opponents mock her. Lecty and Riko intervene, showcasing coordination. Mizora, feeling useless, recalls Kanata's advice and realizes trust is the key. Charging her strike blaster, she surprises everyone, securing the team's first victory. In the aftermath, Kanata expresses his joy to Yuri, teasing more surprises. Meanwhile, Real, driven by love, embraces the power of the eye to win Yuri's heart. The tension in the arena was palpable as the E601 faced off against Yuri's formidable A227 team in the finals. Freon's stress and anger levels surged with every victory for E601, and she disclosed her bet with Kanata to miss Gun Monthly, causing a citywide buzz. Chloe and Lloyd, on night patrol, discussed Freon's risky move, recognizing that she bound herself to the bet as well. Meanwhile, E601 members reflected on their growth under Kanata. Lecty, at the academy, acknowledged her gradual progress. Riko remembered her initial skepticism turning into respect, and Mizora recognized Kanata's role in bringing her closer to her dream. As the team prepared for the finals, Kanata overheard their cheerful attitude and crushed a pamphlet revealing the bet, fueling his determination. The day of the finals arrived, with Chloe and Lloyd vigilant for the mystery attacker. The 601 entered the arena to discover a packed stadium and live coverage, but realized the crowd favored Yuri's team. However, a lone banner from E571 provided a small but meaningful support. Mizora faced Lily in the arena, and as the match unfolded, the 601 appeared to be avoiding confrontations, earning mockery from the crowd. In the VIP stands, Christina sensed the true outcome, while Freon clung to her desired result. Outside, Chloe, upset about missing the performance, received a mic message from Lloyd about an issue at the back gate. In the arena, Mizora realized her only chance was unconventional movements against Lily. A feigned distraction allowed Mizora to launch a surprise attack, revealing Kanata's strategic foresight. Yuri, realizing Kanata's plan, remained confident until Mizora's unexpected maneuver. In the midst of the chaos, Mizora successfully executed her strike blaster, stunning the A227 and securing E601's victory. The crowd witnessed the unexpected triumph, leaving Yuri shocked, Kanata composed, and Freon in disbelief. As the announcer declared E601's victory, an unexpected interruption occurred. Real Nua, the mystery attacker, infiltrated the control room, incapacitating the announcer and seizing control of the arena. Real's voice echoed through the speakers, causing confusion. An air raid siren blared, signaling a Devil Beetle attack, triggering an evacuation order. Chloe and Lloyd, realizing the emergency alarm was manipulated, observed the chaos unfolding. The stadium automatically locked down, trapping Kanata, Yuri, and E601 inside. Real revealed himself, his body radiating a blue aura reminiscent of Kanata during the Chimera attack. Mizora recognized the aura, and Real confronted Yuri, expressing a desire to console her. Kanata intervened, kicking Real away and urging Yuri to run. Real retaliated, displaying unnatural strength. Kanata dodged projectiles but was pierced in the leg. Real menaced Yuri, only to be thrown back by Mizora's strike blaster. Real, angered, faced his new adversaries, setting the stage for a fierce showdown. In the echoing silence of the empty stadium, Kanata, shocked and surrounded by his students, the E601, witnesses Real's menacing transformation. Real boasts of being the chosen one, erecting a wind barrier that traps Yuri, Kanata, and the E601 inside. With a swift attack, Real incapacitates the students, leaving Yuri clutched in his grasp. As Real intensifies his assault, Kanata's frustration peaks, triggering a surge of power. The iron rod embedded in his foot is effortlessly expelled. Mizora recognizes the familiar energy from the Chimera attack. Kanata, wielding the Sword of Destruction, confronts Real, who unveils a resilient form. Despite Kanata's strikes, Real's wounds miraculously heal. In the midst of the battle, a revelation unfolds. Kanata possesses the same beetle powers as Real. Real, deceived by false promises, believed humanity's enemies blessed him. Kanata, however, pities Real's misguided allegiance. Their clash escalates, with Real unveiling a devastating tornado and trapping Yuri. The 601 rally, attempting to protect Yuri, but Real's overwhelming force sends them flying. Enraged, Kanata summons his Gladius, urging Real to cease his relentless attacks on his students. A smokescreen created by Riko provides a momentary distraction. Lecty manages to sever one of Real's arms, freeing Yuri. Real, undeterred, morphs his other arm into a chain blade, targeting Yuri. Sacrificing himself, Kanata intervenes, taking the full force of the attack. Yuri, tearful and witnessing Kanata apparently fall, recalls his teachings never to give up. Real, poised to deliver a final blow, is interrupted by the E601. Lecty's sword shatters within Real, unveiling his vulnerability. Real transforms into a beetle and takes flight, entering a new stage of the battle. Yuri, now in wizard mode, armed with Trishula, faces Real. Her weapon, designed to counter chimeras, inflicts unprecedented damage. Real's human form emerges, confused and weakened. Yuri's compassion falters as Real attempts one last assault on Kanata. In the decisive moment, Yuri hurls Trishula, piercing Real once more. Kanata reveals his strategic manipulation, orchestrating Real's downfall. Real reverts to a human state, unconscious within his beetle shell. The ordeal ends as citizens are tended to outside the stadium. Real is hospitalized, and Kanata, along with the E601, observes the aftermath. Yuri credits Kanata for their victory, but he deflects, emphasizing their collective effort. The truth of the incident is concealed from the public, blaming a stressed medical student for the attack. In the aftermath, Kanata reveals Freon's decision to cancel the E601's debts instead of promoting them to C rank. The promised high-tech weapons, now destroyed, leave the E601 disheartened. Kanata uplifts their spirits, acknowledging their hard work. A new member, Yuri, joins the E601, initially causing confusion. Kanata reveals her as the defeated commander, balancing her role in the team and the special duty guard. The E601 reluctantly accepts Yuri, who presents a cake as a peace offering. Time passes, and Miss Gun City returns to normalcy. Real, filled with remorse, reflects in a hospital room. Mizora assists her father, Lecty continues maid training, and Rico indulges in her love for soft toys. Freon, in her office, cherishes a photo of a younger Rico and herself. Chloe and Lloyd watch the new E601 soar through the sky. Kanata, alone in the vast sky, reflects on the city below, grateful for the peace restored. The tale of Miss Gun City concludes, a testament to unity and resilience. And that's the end of the anime. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.